Hello guys, welcome back to Pause and welcome back to Hysteria Pier. This is our brand new pier and promenade build using the Vintage Pack DLC that was released for Planet Coaster a couple of weeks ago. So in today's episode we're going to first of all show you what I've done off camera and then jump into a time lapse putting together the ghost train. But before all of that, if this is the kind of content you like, simulation games, theme parks, Planet Coaster, then consider subscribing to the channel and don't forget to give this video a big like. So let's first have a look at what I've done off camera. So at the end of the last video I did a bit of work on the paths, put a few queue lines in and just generally try to make the pier flow. Now I had guest flow issues across the entirety of the pier, so what I've done is completely removed all the path and I've completely started from fresh. So in the process of that, I've also moved a few bits around, which you will see in a second. I mean, the first thing you'll already notice is dead centre as you walk through here. So yeah, I've moved a couple of the attractions around just to make the paths flow a little bit. And now we've got the carousel in the middle. So if I zoom out and just show you what we've done with the paths, you'll see now we've ignore this little outstretch, this is just to help me with the pathing. So now we've got the actual proper square paths involved in this build now. And this runs either side of the arcade building and now runs up straight up the centre of the pier. So I've switched a few bits around, so now the carousel is in the middle, so dead centre as you walk through. I've duplicated the two ticket booths to either side. I don't think it worked as a central building, I don't think it needed it. So they have been moved to the side. I moved a couple of the rides slightly, so this one has now gone back a little bit and spaced those out slightly. And I've swapped these two around, so you've got another ticket booth between these two, and then this is how these are looking. I've had another go at the queue line for the Wild Mouse, taken a bit of the queue away as it was quite long, and I'll just cap it off with the price, I think. So that's what I've done off camera. It's taken me a while, I'll be honest. This took a good couple of hours, which you wouldn't think paths would, but the pathing in this game isn't the best. So yeah, that's what we've done here. So I'm still got the plan to get this ghost train done. That's what we're going to start work on today. And also I am going to actually expand this pier out a little bit more, because looking at it now it's quite short. So I'm actually going to push it all back a little bit. It does mean I'm going to have to redo this queue, but it's fine. So we're going to push it back, have it a bit further out. The coaster will remain at the back and then we'll put a few more attractions in, a couple more buildings, and just make it look a little bit better really. What I'm going to move away from when I expand this out is I want to move away from just having all the rides at the edge. As originally that's what I was going to do, but I don't think it's very realistic. So some of these little ones like this, I think I'll move in a bit as well, and we'll have a work on it. It does mean the series is going to be expanded a little bit. I was almost nearing the end, but screw it, let's make it look good. So we'll expand it out, move the coaster back, and have some more buildings. I still want to do the pub here, and like I said, put some more rides in. One thing that was mentioned in the comments, which I can't leave out on this pier, is dodgems. So that's the main reason why I want to push all this back. You can't have a pier without dodgems. So that's one of the main things that we're going to add. Yeah, and we're going to do that as we get through. Today though, it's the ghost train. Or at least we're going to start the ghost train. I don't know how much of it will get done, but I'll do a little bit of that and then we'll do a bit of the pier as well. I don't want to make it just a ghost train episode, but we will start on that today. So first of all, like I said guys, that's how it's looking so far. I'm a lot more happy with the path. I think it works so much better. This open space here is going to be great for guest flow as well. As before, it was a nightmare. I had a tiny thin path walking up the middle and it just didn't work. So at least now everyone can spread out and I think it'll work a lot better. So that's what we're going to do today. Let's jump into a time lapse, and I'll talk you through what I'm doing as I'm doing it. Right, so we're going to start with a bit of pier stuff first of all. I'm going to put in some queue line fences and a tiny bit of theming. We're going to do some lighting, some benches, some more fence around the edge of the pier. And by the end of this first half, we basically get it looking a little bit more like a pier and less like a plank of wood with some rides put on it. That pretty much is what it is at the moment. So yeah, these last couple of episodes now is all about tarting everything up. We've got in the ride, we've fundamentally got in the majority of the buildings, the entrance is done, so now it really is just a case of getting everything in place, making it look nice, and yeah, making it look like a pier. So that's generally what we're doing today in this first half. Towards the sort of second half of this video is when we get into the actual ghost train build. I do a good chunk. I mean, I get the walls in. I start doing a little bit of theming on the building itself, and we put the first couple of scenes in. And you'll see from the sort of scenes that I've put in today, it very much sets out a precedent for the rest of the ride. I'm going for sort of a very cheap ghost train, so a lot of jump scares, flashing lights. I'm going to put in some loud noises and that kind of thing, the stuff you get on these crappy piers. And like I say, well, I'll talk more about the ghost train when we get to that at the end of the video. So what I'm also doing here, what you've just seen, I'm putting some of the prices up on the rides, try and make the queues a bit quieter. People just flock to the queues, and it's getting crazy. So yeah, I put the price up a little bit. Here I just decided to put the little organ in. Again, I know I've mentioned it a few times during this build, but I'm just trying to use every single piece, well, as many pieces of vintage as I can do somewhere in this build, and that's why I'm trying to just put some really obscure stuff in, just so I can say I've used it. I had to go with them tree planters. They wouldn't fit on a pier. You wouldn't really see that kind of greenery on a centre of a pier, so I took them away, and we just used these, and I think they look quite good. Little wooden horses for the carousel. Sorry, it's having a little drink, bit of a dry mouth today. We put a bit of the popcorn lighting in. It's going to make well, it's going to be quite prominent on the old pier. This you're going to see it quite a lot. You do get that kind of stuff. A lot of these sort of rope strip lights. Just generally, that's how piers are. A lot of just flashing stuff, flashing lights. Right, so unrelated to Planet Coaster, I best talk about channel stuff really, as this is a good opportunity to do that. So currently, at time of this video going live, this will be up on Wednesday, I believe, if I've planned everything out. I am currently away somewhere on holiday. Basically, it's my birthday. As of time of this video yesterday, so the Tuesday, it is my 30th birthday. My girlfriend has took me away to some surprise location. So as of the time you're watching this video right now, I'll be there, and I am away all week. So this is going to be the last video that I actually get up on the channel for at least a couple of days, as I just simply ran out of time to backlog videos. I did it quite a bit, but I do work full time, so I struggle to get daily content out when I'm working full time, and the job I'm in, summer, is very busy as I work at a tourist attraction. So yeah, this time of year is a little bit hectic. Yeah, so that's happening at the moment. So I'm away for a couple of days, so don't expect any more videos for at least the time being. I mean, I should be back Friday, so I should be able to start getting some videos made again. Yeah, the next sort of couple of days. So maybe next Monday we might get videos back out. So give me the weekend off to sort of celebrate being old. And yeah, videos will be back soon. So don't worry, I'm not going away. I'm just having a couple of days off. So it's fine. One other thing I want to mention today as well, while all this random pier stuff's going on. We did actually award the winner of our vintage pack giveaway about a week ago now. Thank you to everybody who did not subscribe, what's the word I'm looking for, enter into the giveaway. I had a lot more entries than I thought I would, to be fair. In total there's about 300, I think, so thank you ever so much for that. And yeah, the winner was the Giz. I did a little shout out on social the other week on the day of the well, it was either the day of or the day after the competition ended. So if you would like to follow the Giz, you have a look on our Twitter, which is at PausGamesYT. Go back a week or so and you'll see the post. I was going to do a whole video on it, but I don't know. I'm trying to get away from just doing videos for the sake of doing videos. Obviously, some videos are different, but I'm trying my hardest to move away from that. Anyway, so let's get back to Planet Coaster. So we are just doing a bit of lighting. I love these new lampposts, and I've sort of figured out if you just put two together on slightly different angles, you get this lovely like 4 sort of pieces of lantern, which I think look really good actually. Again, they suit this kind of classic pier look, and I quite like the idea of it being relatively low lit in terms of the walkways at night, and then sort of lighting up the rides. So I think that's the kind of process I'm going to take with this. In the background, ignore the fact you can see the shops through the funhouse, by the way. I will go back and edit that. I've noticed that in this video here, so don't worry, I'll sort that. Yeah, so I'm generally going for relatively low lit, and yeah, we're going to light up the rides quite well, so from a distance you'll basically just see the rides. That's the plan. Right, so that's it for the sort of pier bits. So generally we've got most of the fences in, most of the queue lines are in, and we've started work on little bits of theming. Theming is very loose in this park. Like I've mentioned previously, if you want to see some actual proper building and theming that I can do, head over to the other videos on the channel. So we've got a studios park that we are building at the moment, Clapboard Studios, which is up to like part 34 or something ridiculous. So do check that out if you want to see some a bit more in-depth theming. Then if you want to see a bit more of a classical build, check out our Hysteria Valley theme park, which is the sister to the Hysteria Pier. I haven't done an episode of that since Vintage, as this is taking priority. As soon as this park and this pier is finished, I'll jump back into Hysteria Valley. But there's a good amount of videos. It's quite a substantial playlist of content there, and I'd say half of that park complete. So there's quite a lot happening there. So do check it out if you are relatively new to the channel, and you can see a sort of other style of build. This one is very specific, and like I've said before, I've never done a sort of pier build, so it's very much a learning curve as I'm doing this. So back to the ghost train then. I'm trying to just figure out whether I want the walls here, just very much from the ride POV perspective. So where will the ride be? What do I want them to see? What don't I want them to see? Oh, pardon me. Oh, it's been a busy day at work. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing, is trying to put in a few of these walls, various different angles, and then once I've got the general layout in, is when I'm going to jump in and start doing the theming. So I know it's probably a strange way of doing it, but I just wanted to see what angles I had and which areas I can sort of divide. As I want there to be a lot of sort of corners where I can put jump scares and random like props and things, so you can have like a face and a flashing light and whatever kind of noise. There's that very like, I don't know what it's called, and I don't know if you get them outside of the UK. I assume you do. But in a lot of these crappy ghost trains, you get like a siren, like a whirring, like a really loud siren noise that just sort of plays throughout it. It's a very unique noise to like fairs, and I need to try and find that because so if anyone has that kind of, or knows what I'm talking about, it's like a very unique siren in ghost trains at fairgrounds, or like you get them at these kind of like temporary carnivals that come on like trucks and lorries and things. So yeah, if anyone knows what I'm on about and knows the noise I mean, and you have found it somewhere, please let me know, because I very much would like that in this ride. Or I'm gonna have to try and make my own, if not, or just use some sirens. I want to make it tacky. It's hard with the pieces in the game because the actual spooky stuff is quite well themed, so you have to be very picky with what you do. So yeah, it's going to be themed to a point, this ride. Like the main bit of theming, I'd say, is going to be in the station. That's where I'm going to try and do it. So because I'm going to keep it as an open station, so the it's going to have a roof on it, but this whole drop and actual where you board the ride is going to be one open building that you will see from the outside. So it's going to have like, it's not going to have a front on it, but it will be roofed. It's hard to explain. It's very much based on the ghost train at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. So if you've ever seen that, how that ghost train is basically what I'm going for here. Completely different theme, different layout, but that's where I've took my inspiration from for the layout. So I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do with the archways and the different towers, just to get different heights to the structure. It's a lot of trial and error. I do a few little pieces with the roofs. Again, it's just testing, see what works, see what looks good from certain angles. What I did figure out, if you layer these nicely, you get that lovely little pattern in the side, which is good. Didn't expect it, but it works out quite well. So here we're putting in a little bit of we're doing the first 2 scenes. I do go and take away the track supports in a second, so those purple lines that you can see do go. I'm doing that now actually. Yeah, one thing that I'll ask actually, I don't know if anyone knows this coaster, this ride type better than I do, so I've never actually built with it before. The trains launch, the coaster cars are in 3s. And I can't figure out a way to get them single. It classes them as a train, and I can only get them in 3s, and it kind of ruins what I want to do with triggers, because I have to make the triggers and the effects really short, so they reset by the next train behind. So if anybody knows if it's possible to just have them as single cars, please let me know down below. But I've got a feeling it probably won't let you, as I can't find a way to do it, which I find very strange that it class them as 3s in trains. I don't know why they've done it that way. But if anyone does know a way to do it, please let me know, because I'd love to. I'd love to get that single cars. So if the triggers work better. In terms of triggers, we do get a few in this ride. Only a couple, mainly just lights, and it triggers the first of the jump scares as well. Here I was trying to find a way to make his eyes red. As I like the idea of sort of flickering eyes, I wanted there to be a lot of movement in the sort of the facade. So I kind of went with this. Obviously it's got the little bit sticking out of it, but from a distance it kind of works. It kind of gives like a glowy eye, because it's got the movement of it. It works quite well, to be fair. So we'll go with it. Here I'm just starting a little bit of the lighting, just going for some blues, some reds, some blues and greens, sorry, to just give it a very low, dark feel, but again keeping that tacky ghost train look of just using wash of colours. I'm going to try and pick out the jump scares and a bit of the theming using white strobes, which is one thing you will see sort of towards the end of this. And again, just putting in a bit of smoke. I mean, this kind of ghost train probably wouldn't have smoke effects in it. That'd probably be a bit too out of the price range for a part like this, but I don't know, it adds nicely to the atmosphere, and we want to make it at least look okay. We don't want to make it too crap. So yeah, so here we're just doing the first trigger. We're just, like I say, it's very, very simple. Just these 2 lights come on in sequence as you go down that little corridor, and then this is where I put in the first jump scare, just using one of these things, which I've never used, and they're pretty cool actually. Hide it behind a gravestone and just set it up with I think a purple light and then a white strobe from below, just to light it up as you go past, and it works quite well actually. So yeah, I'm happy with it. So it's starting to come together. I mean, it's still very much a work in progress, as you can see, but that is pretty much the ghost train so far. So, like I said, guys, I'll be back in a couple of days with more videos. I'm going to have a few days off for my birthday. But if you like this kind of stuff, don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date when our content comes back. Don't forget to give the video a like, and if you've got any questions, queries, comments or suggestions, drop those down below. Thank you guys ever so much for watching. There'll be plenty more coming from this build and other Planet Coaster builds soon. But for now, guys, thank you ever so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!